So you're out there on a DP2 vessel. The sea is doing its thing, and your job is to keep a multi-million-dollar piece of steel exactly where it needs to be. Suddenly the bridge lights up like a Christmas tree, and a chorus of alarms starts screaming. You've lost both your GPS and your DGPS. For a dynamic positioning operator, this is a big deal. These systems are your eyes in the sky, constantly telling the ship's brain its precise location on the planet. Without them, you're flying partially blind. But here's the thing, it's not a catastrophe. It's a problem, and problems have solutions. Your training prepared you for this exact moment. The most important job you have right now is to take a breath, stay calm, and follow the procedure. Panicking doesn't fix anything, it just makes a bad situation worse. The very first thing you do is reach out and silence those alarms. Acknowledge them. This tells the system, I hear you, I'm on it. It also quiets the noise so you can think clearly. Your next move is just as critical. You need to communicate. Grab the radio or the internal comms and inform the rest of the bridge team. Announce clearly, bridge, DPO here. We have a total loss of GPS and DGPS. Then, notify the engine control room or ECR. They need to know what's happening with the vessel's positioning, as it directly impacts the power plant and thrusters they are managing. This isn't a time for secrets. Everyone on the watch needs to be on the same page, working together as one well-oiled machine. Now that the key players on board know the score, it's time to look at what you have left. A DP2 vessel is built with redundancy for this very reason. You've lost your absolute position references, but you still have your relative ones. In this case, let's say you have a Fanbeam laser system and a physical Taut Wire system. These are your lifelines. They don't know where you are on a map of the world, but they know exactly where you are in relation to a fixed point, like a platform or a subsea structure. Your immediate job is to assess these remaining systems. Are they stable? Are they providing good, reliable data? Your DP console will show you their status and quality indicators. This quick check confirms what tools you have left in your toolbox. With the immediate alarms handled and your team in the loop, you can take a moment to assess the bigger picture. Look outside. What are the environmental conditions doing? Is the wind picking up? Are the currents pushing you around more than usual? The weather doesn't care about your technical problems. Understanding these forces is crucial because your vessel's thrusters are working hard to counteract them. Losing your primary GPS references means the DP system might have to work harder, and it's doing so with less information. Knowing the environmental load helps you understand the demand on your remaining systems, and the overall risk of maintaining your position. This is all part of the initial critical assessment phase. Your focus now shifts entirely to the two systems keeping you on station, the Fanbeam and the Taut Wire. These are your eyes and ears now, and you need to trust them completely. Start by examining the data coming from each one on your DP console. Look at the Fanbeam. Is the signal return strong and consistent? Is the system tracking its target prism on the nearby platform without jumping around? Check for any warnings or errors associated with it. A good clean signal is what you're looking for. A flickering or erratic signal is a red flag that tells you the system might not be reliable. You need to know if this lifeline is a solid steel cable or a fraying piece of twine. Next, turn your attention to the Taut Wire. This is old-school, tried-and-true technology. A wire runs from your vessel down to a depressor weight on the seabed. A sensor measures the angle of that wire to calculate your position. Check the wire tension and the payout length. Make sure the readings are stable. Is the vessel's movement or excursion shown by the Taut Wire consistent with what you see from the Fanbeam? If both systems are telling you a similar story about how the vessel is moving, that's a great sign. It means you have two independent, reliable sources of information. This is the redundancy of a DP2 system in action, and it's what keeps you safe. With two good position reference systems online, you need to tell the DP system how much to trust each one. This is called weighting. The DP system combines the data from all active PRS to get the best possible position estimate. Since you've lost your most accurate systems, you need to adjust the settings. You will deselect the failed GPS and DGPS from the system, then you'll ensure the Fanbeam and Taut Wire are properly weighted. Typically, you'd give them equal or similar weighting if they are both performing well. This balances the load and prevents the DP system from relying too heavily on just one input, which could be risky if it suddenly develops a fault. Once your remaining systems are selected and weighted, it's time to test the new setup. The best way to do this is by running a consequence analysis. Your DP system will have a function for this. It simulates what would happen if you lost your single worst-case failure, in this case either the Fanbeam or the Taut Wire. The system will predict the vessel's potential drift-off trajectory. If the analysis shows that the vessel would remain within its safe operating limits, even after losing another PRS, then you know your setup is robust. This isn't just about feeling safe, it's about proving it with data. You must log the results of this analysis in the DP logbook as evidence that you've done your due diligence. You've stabilized the vessel and confirmed your remaining systems are solid. Now comes the hard part, making the call on what to do next. Can the operation continue? The answer depends entirely on the risk. You need to consider the specific task you're performing. Are you engaged in a critical operation, like crane lifting, diving support, or connecting a gangway to a platform? These activities have very tight tolerances for vessel movement. Even a small, unexpected excursion could have severe consequences. In these high-stakes situations, the safest and most professional response is to pause the operation immediately. Stop the crane, bring the divers home, and retract the gangway. The decision to stop work isn't made in a vacuum. You are the operator, but you are part of a larger team. You must inform everyone who needs to know. First, contact the client representative on board. Explain the situation clearly. We have lost GPS and are operating on relative references. For safety, we must pause the critical activity until the issue is resolved. You also need to inform the vessel's master and chief engineer. The master holds ultimate responsibility for the vessel's safety, and the chief engineer needs to be aware of any situation that could affect the power and propulsion systems. Clear, timely communication prevents confusion and ensures everyone understands the operational status and the reasons behind your decisions. If the operation is less critical, say you're simply standing by or monitoring a subsea asset without physical interaction, you might be able to continue. However, you should still consider imposing restrictions. This could mean widening your operational limits, creating a larger safe zone around the vessel. You should also activate backup monitoring. This is where you use every tool at your disposal. Use the vessel's marine radar to check the range and bearing to the platform. Have a deck officer take visual bearings. These manual checks provide an extra layer of defense. They help you manually confirm what the remaining automated systems are telling you, ensuring you catch any drift or error early. Every action, every decision, and every communication must be meticulously logged. Open the DP logbook and the ship's official logbook. Record the exact time of the GPS failure. Note which alarms were activated, list the actions you took, informing personnel, deselecting failed PRS, adjusting weighting and running the consequence analysis. Document the decision to pause or restrict the operation and who you notified. This log isn't just paperwork, it's a legal record of the event. It demonstrates that you acted professionally and followed established procedures. It also provides valuable data for any future investigation or training exercise. A detailed log protects you, your crew, and your company. While you are safely holding position on your Fanbeam and Taut Wire, the work isn't over. Now you need to try and fix the problem. The GPS failure could be caused by many things. It could be a simple software glitch, an antenna issue, or a wider external problem like solar flares or intentional signal jamming in the region. Start with the basics. Can you reboot the GPS receivers? Sometimes, a simple turn it off and on again is all it takes. Check the system diagnostics. Are there any error messages that give you a clue about the root cause? Work through your vessel-specific troubleshooting checklist methodically. As you troubleshoot, remember that your primary job is still to fly the ship. Don't get so absorbed in fixing the GPS that you lose situational awareness. Keep one eye on the DP console and the environmental conditions at all times. If possible, have another qualified operator or officer assist with the troubleshooting so you can remain focused on vessel handling. If the problem seems to be external, for example, if you suspect GPS jamming, there isn't much you can do to fix it. In that case, your job is to document the issue and continue operating safely on your remaining references until the external interference passes. Patience becomes as important as technical skill. To help you make clear decisions during events like this, many vessels use a simple decision guide or a DP capability plot. Think of it as a cheat sheet for safety. For example, the guide might say, loss of all absolute PRS, pause all critical operations, hold position on 2 dissimilar relative PRS, inform master and client, or 1 remaining PRS, declare a red alert. Prepare for manual vessel control. Abort operation immediately. This summary guide helps remove guesswork during a stressful situation. It ensures that any DPO on watch, regardless of experience level, will follow the same safe and logical steps, leading to a predictable and safe outcome every single time. Ultimately, navigating a GPS failure comes down to two things: technology and training. The technology gives you the redundant systems to fall back on, but it's your training and adherence to procedure that truly keep everyone safe. Every alarm you acknowledge, every system you check, and every person you inform is a step in a well-rehearsed safety dance. By staying calm, communicating clearly, and following the plan, you can manage the failure effectively. You turn a potential crisis into a controlled, professional response. And in the world of offshore operations where the stakes are always high, that's how you do the job right and make sure everyone goes home safe.